Aight. Aight. We got Jimmy High Roller. This is the only way to settle the debate. What debate? The GOAT?
Ranking NBA players
The unicorn?
is useless, but it's also really fun. Every NBA fan at some point has created their own ranking.
It's useless, but yeah, it's fun. That's the thing. That's why they keep on doing it, because it's fun.
Our official pastime.
They don't want to admit it though.
And with the game as data-driven and awards and accomplishments as absolute as the NBA has, you'd think ranking players would be a fairly simple task. But despite the countless efforts to make a flawless, coherent all-time ranking of NBA players, no one can seem to get it quite right. Some players ranked too high, others too low, some not even ranked at all. Make any of these mistakes and your ranking will immediately get dismissed. The latest attempt of this fleeting endeavor came last week from
Bleacher Report
when they released their top 100 NBA
put Kobe
players
at number
ever
11,
list. A ranking that seemed relatively good, but was met with an onslaught of criticism. Like everyone else that made an attempt before them, this list was not accurate. Not good enough.
That's right.
Why is it so difficult to make an all-time ranking that we can all agree on? I mean, we all have our own opinion, our own personal bias. Is it even possible to make such a list? And if we could, how would we even create it? Well, believe it or not, there is a method that we can use to rank every player in NBA history with shockingly good accuracy. It doesn't use any numbers or data, no formulas or advanced metrics. It is a method way simpler than you would ever think, and yet manages to get results with nearly 100% accuracy. Even crazier, we actually use this method all the time.
What are you talking about? Oh, Jimmy, stop with this foreshadowing type-ish, man. Say, no, I love it.
Your real car.
I love it. That's what makes them interesting. Sponsored by Hertz. I know you have Hertz, Jimmy.
Being able to build anything.
Sponsored by Basewell. I know you use Basewell for it, Jimmy. Think I can skip it.
Today's video is
Hubba, Bubba, Max, Hubba, Bubba, 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 Subba, Hubba, Cubba, Nubba, Max.
on SeatGeek.
Hey.
Last week, Bleacher Report released their top 100 NBA players ever list.
Yes.
And to absolutely no one's surprise, people were not happy about it. Among some of the more glaring complaints about Bleacher Report's list include Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the now MVP, Finals
he should have been on that list, man.
Champion, not even making the list. Jason Tatum landing at 93.
Yeah.
John Stockton ranked ahead of players like Chris Paul and Kawhi Leonard.
What?
And of course, Kobe Bryant.
Crazy.
Outside of the top 10. Despite polling their staff of NBA experts, writers, and editors, the results of this comprehensive ranking only left people confused and annoyed. Ranking players should not be this difficult.
That's right.
And yet, it is. But to understand why it's so difficult, we first need to understand why every ranking—
recency bias, bias in general, past bias, current bias, all types of bias, bro.
How thought out it is, how logical the criteria is, how much data was used, always falls short. One popular approach that some fans and experts have taken over the years is the formula method. Create a point-based system and apply those points to various factors like career stats, accolades, and impact to make an objectively accurate ranking. A method that has been tested countless times with varying levels of success. Last year, John Hollinger, longtime NBA
was Barkley even? Barkley wasn't even on the list. Charles Barkley wasn't even on the list.
Credited with creating some of the first advanced NBA statistics, created a formula to determine his all-time top 100.
Yeah, the fight was right. Like, yeah, you're not on the list, buddy. They took Barkley off the list. I didn't see Barkley on that list.
His criteria being a point-based system that put—
Dude, how many rebounds a game? He was like 6'4", he averaged 12 rebounds a game at 6'4", bro, for his career.
Of weight into factors like MVP shares, finals MVPs, win shares, and career box plus minus. A formula that resulted in LeBron as the GOAT, Jordan second, Kareem third, Duncan fourth, and Karl Malone fifth all time. This list also features Harden at 13, Hakeem at 19, Steph all the way down at 27, and Isaiah Thomas at 65. This Reddit user went through the trouble of creating an entire model from scratch to achieve the goal of, as he put it, quantifying careers using a formula that combines accolades with simple advanced stats.
So on Reddit now, okay.
Era and benchmarking, plus adjusting the weights of the formula against approximate expected rankings using least squared regression. In other words, he used a whole lot of stats and accolades, made some applicable adjustments, and put together an all-time top 100 ranking.
All this data, man.
And people hated it. The glaring flaw in this method, as well as every other method that attempts to be completely objective in its approach, is that it's not objective. Even concrete things like stats and awards will inevitably have some sort of weight or value attached to them based partially off of opinion. What is a championship worth, and how do you factor it in? Should there be
like that the 2020 bubble championship? People say that don't count.
Air attacks on players who played half a century ago? If there is, when does it no longer apply? The 80s? 90s?
They had
Is
Pepsi in the
peak more
80s?
important than longevity, or is it the other way around? Even awards themselves, like MVPs and DPOYs, are voted on by people with their own personal bias. Creating some sort of formula involves attributing value
Let me see those names again.
with their own personal
He's the
bias.
voters.
Creating some sort of formula involves attributing value to all of these things.
Hold on, what's that dude? Tim Legler, my guy, Tim Legler, he voted for Jokic. Shay, Rachel nigga, Shay. I don't know who Mike Curtis is. I know some of these people, man. Steve Ashburner, Shay. Dave McMenamin, Shay, the dude that called Russ a vampire. Bill Simmons, Jokic. Who else?
Creating some
Who else?
formula
That dude got the same last name as me.
involves
Ramona Sherboy, Shay.
attributing value to all of these things, but without any impartial
You know
method
ball.
of weighing all of these factors without injecting
You got the
some sort of
same last name as
personal
me.
bias, the pursuit of creating a perfectly accurate ranking becomes virtually impossible. So what if we just remove the personal bias? What if we strictly use data and numbers, two important factors that have no bias, to make a completely accurate and nonpartisan all-time ranking? Well,
That's
because the
scientist.
rankings get really weird really fast. For example, Box Plus Minus has Nikola Jokic as far and away the best player of all time. It also has Luka Doncic 4th, David Robinson 6th,
Chris
and
Paul
Tim
number
Duncan
10.
19th. But in the right hands and with enough data, and when used in conjunction with one another,
We gotta take this to the scientists, bro. They used to doing studies on animals and whatnot. Now they're doing studies on NBA players to determine who's the greatest.
a purely data-driven approach could lead us in the
They're
right
observing
direction.
NBA
And
players.
this is what Ben Taylor of
You take that
Thinking Basketball
magnifying
did back
glass.
in 2017 when he created his top 40 list. As Ben says when describing his methodology, I won't attempt to balance Kobe's championships with Shaq, nor do I care about accolades like all-star teams or the number of Hall of Fame teammates someone played with. I also don't care about how many rings a player won. The very thing I'm trying to tease out is who provided the most lift. Instead of trying to assign value to things like rings,
Yeah, you know, say, oh, he had so many Hall of Fame teammates. He had so many Hall of Fame teammates. It don't count.
MVPs, Ben's list ranks players based on who provided the largest.
I blame
increase
social
in the
media for
odds of a
all
team
this,
winning
man.
a
I
championship.
blame social media for all this, bro. I blame social media for everything. I blame social media for all. Oh, he don't have enough. He played well. He played every team he had a Hall of Fame teammate on every team he played. Oh man, he played with Shaq. The last his first 3 years. Oh man,
Over
don't
the
count.
course of their career. Ben's specific method and reasoning is
We played in the
probably
bubble. It
best
don't count.
out there when it comes to seeking an objective ranking, using the best advanced metrics available and using them logically to find the most accurate conclusion. The results of this experiment were eventually updated in 2022 and are generally accepted as a really solid list without the outliers.
Well, that
and
joint got
massive
Kobe at
holes
12,
that other
dang.
lists have. The only problem
D-Wade
is
25?
this is not an all-time player ranking. As Ben stated, this list is a player evaluation, not
Oh.
necessarily a ranking of the greatest players of all time. And it's evaluating how good these players were, their abilities and their effectiveness in using those abilities, not how great they were or what they accomplished. A great exercise in determining which players had the largest impact on the court, but not the best method in determining how that impact actually translated to tangible success. For example, this method is providing evidence that Karl Malone had a larger statistical impact than Stephen Curry over the course of his career, but I'm not sure if there's a single human being on
It's
planet
Karl Malone. I think he's the second all time in scoring, right? Or third, one of them.
Earth that would argue Karl Malone is greater than Steph is. Using purely statistics and data to rank players removes valuable context that
Well, they do got that. I know.
certainly matters when evaluating how great they were throughout their career. However,
I mean, it's an argument. I ain't saying this. You know what I'm saying? Steph. I ain't saying Steph ain't better. Man, it's an argument. You can make a valid argument.
allowing awards and achievements to partially dictate rankings
Accomplishments.
will inherently skew the results due to personal bias and variance of opinion. So looking at it through either of these
Well, I guess not. Now I think about it. Hell no.
lenses
Yeah.
will
It's
lead you to
Steph.
inaccurate results. But maybe we're looking at this through the wrong lens altogether.
QX80, you are cleared for takeoff.
And you know, and the other reason why people don't like the mailman, Karl Malone.
Are going to be biased. It's the very nature of
And you know what I'm talking about.
My team's great and they can do no wrong. So if we need to factor everything in, but we cannot do that without
the Pacers have fans?
Inserting some sort of bias.
They have fans outside the arena?
We need to factor everything in, but we cannot do that.
This is my first time seeing Pacer fans outside the arena, bro.
Without inserting some sort of bias.
They some bandwagon. They don't even root for the Pacers when they good.
If we need
See, Knicks fans are different though. They like the Knicks when they bad, when they terrible and good. The Pacers, their fans like it when their team is winning. They don't. They just be, you know, just in the house when the team is trash.
Factor everything in.
B. Hen and Jeff Teague even said it.
We cannot do that without inserting.
And they live in Indiana.
Bias. What if instead of trying to remove all bias from the equation, we factor this bias into the equation by asking fans what it is they value most when ranking players? If the accuracy of the rankings is determined by the fans, then so should the criteria. Well, that's exactly what this Reddit user did. Back in 2020, an NBA fan on Reddit took it upon himself.
That's a lot of NBA teams, not just the Pacers too. That's not just the Pacer fans, but there's a lot of NBA fans. If the team's not good, they're not supporting.
NBA fans, 662 of them to be exact, on not just what's important to them in terms of greatness, but even what kind of fan they are. Among some of the questions asked were, how long have you been watching the NBA for? The most popular answer was 6 to 9 years. On a scale of 1 to 10.
I've been rookies. They still rookies, bro. I've been watching NBA since 2009. That's over a decade, bro. That's over a decade. Most fans been watching 6 to 9 years. Yeah, y'all got a lot of catching up to do, buddy.
How big of a fan of the NBA?
Yeah, I got a lot of catching up to do. I've been watching this since 2009, man.
Percent of the results being at least an 8 out of 10.
Remember Kobe won his 5th ring, man? Me and my brother rooting for the Lakers, man. And we were celebrating when Kobe won his 5th ring. Ain't my brother's room.
But here's where things get interesting. One of the questions asked was, what do you think is more
I was like 8 years old
in a player's career? Team success or individual success? 52% of voters said team success and 48% said individual success. Almost an even 50-50 split between NBA fans in response to a very important question with 2 very different answers. Even more revealing, voters were asked what are the top 3 most important measures when evaluating who the greatest of all time is. The number 1 answer,
number of champions. Oh, stats?
Number of championships.
Hold on. No, the number is 69%. And the number of all-stars. Oh, yeah, correct statistic. Okay, I see. I ain't see it. I'm sorry, Jimmy.
Number of regular season MVPs, total win shares, and career advanced statistics. The near 50-50 split between the importance of team success versus individual success visible in the almost even voting split between career stats and number of championships. One person can make their rankings based on how. And
there's one. Also, I mean, I was trying to stop pausing the video, but I just want to say this on 2K. Yes, I'm bringing up 2K. They have a stat on advanced analytics. You go, you play my career mode or my league mode, and you go to statistics, and you got the advanced stats, and it tell you it has like the stats called ETW, estimated wins added by each player. It tell you how much player estimates your team's wins by. So you make like a 9 on overall player, and your team is good, you'll be like number 1. And the ETA, estimated wins added, you'll add like a extra 15 games based on how good you play to your team's win total. Because they got you. Because your team has you on it.
Could make their rankings based on how much
if that makes sense.
The player had. 2
you guys get what I'm trying to say.
Different criterias. So how exactly can we make a player ranking that is agreed upon if we can't even agree on what actually matters, or at least what matters most? No matter what approach you take, no matter how much personal bias or opinion
my career in my NBA,
the results will always end up.
Yeah, don't know about Chris Paul.
Personal bias or opinion you try to take out of it, the results will always end up skewed in some sort of direction. There's
Paul
just
Pierce.
Too many factors. Difference in opinion, difference in what matters most from fan to fan.
Yep.
But there is one way. One method that has been proven to be the best way to get to an accurate conclusion about things.
They just showed a Kuzma highlight. They just showed a Kuzma highlight.
Way to get to an
accurate showed a Kuzma highlight
about things otherwise not agreed upon. What is this scientifically backed method? It's the exact one Bleacher Report used. Ask people. Have you ever seen the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yes.
Let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
And deal or no
It was
deal.
a game show where contestants would answer a series of multiple choice questions, with each correct answer winning them more money
Okay. I wonder how we got to this to an NBA video.
and
I love Jimmy, bro.
progressively getting more difficult until the eventual $1 million question. Now, this game show would feature one sole contestant at a time who had to answer these questions by themselves.
Okay.
However, each contestant was granted what were called lifelines, tools the contestant could use to help them answer difficult questions. These 3 lifelines were 50-50, eliminate 2 of the 4 options in a multiple choice question, leaving the contestant with a 50% chance of getting the right answer. Phone a friend.
Oh, process elimination. Okay.
The contestant could call a friend live on the show for help. And the third one was Ask the Audience, where each member of the audience would vote on what they thought was the correct answer to any given question. All of these lifelines were valuable, but one of them in particular resulted in the correct answer far more than the others.
Yeah.
The 50-50 lifeline, as the name suggests, got contestants to the correct answer about 50% of the time. Phoning a friend resulted in contestants getting the correct answer 66% of the time.
Okay, phone a friend. How many times you can do that?
Asking the audience resulted
100%.
in the correct answer 92% of the time.
Damn, well, what y'all watching for then? Y'all should be competing. Shit. They got to do this. Y'all need to do this in the audience. The people in the audience should be competing.
By far, the most accurate method of coming to the correct answer for any question
I guess they just want to watch
in
them
the
win.
show's history. And this is a
Either
demonstration
win
of
with us or
concept
watch us
known as
win.
the wisdom of the crowd, an idea that refers to the collective judgment of a group of people often being more accurate than the judgment of any single
But I get where he's going because people on social media, bro, y'all go behind the desk, the test talk and start talking crazy, but y'all see them in person, bro. Shiver me timbers. Who to go? So that's why. Yep.
And it is an incredibly accurate method of arriving on the correct answer to any logical
Like this dude right here, he probably said Kawhi Leonard's greatest of all time on his social media page.
question. In 2011, the BBC network put this concept to the test by filling a jar with jelly beans and asking 160 contestants how many jelly beans they thought were in the jar. The answers were absolutely insane, ranging from 500 to 50,000. And yet somehow their collective
right in the middle, ain't
average was unbelievably close to the actual number. After conducting their experiment, it was revealed that there were exactly 4,510 jelly beans in the jar. The average guess among all 160 participants, 4,515. Despite their variance
No, off by 5. Oh, they went over by 5.
On average, the participants were able to get within 99.9% of the correct answer. By aggregating the opinions or estimates of many individuals, the errors and biases of individual judgment tend to cancel each other out, leading to a collective result that is closer to the truth. And in possibly the most roundabout way I could conjure up, I think this same exact concept can be applied to ranking NBA players on an all-time list.
Okay.
I just MailChimped my marketing by adding SMS
All right,
to
you
my
supposed to buy
multi-channel campaign.
MailChimp. I know use that. I gotta skip it.
Regardless of what the individuals value most and our own personal bias,
Yeah, the volume right.
if you ask enough people, chances are you'll more than likely end up at an accurate result. Better than strictly using stat-based metrics, better than the eye test, or a combination of multiple factors. Simply asking people who the greatest players of all time are will show you exactly who the greatest players of all time are.
Like, bro, you ask these fans on social media who the greatest players of all time. Look,
you exactly.
You ask these fans who the greatest players of all time. They don't say Dominique Wilkins, bro. They gonna say Trae Young.
The greatest.
But yeah, I catch them in person, man. They'll have different answers.
And evidence of this can be found within the results of Bleacher Report's ranking. Someone ranked Kobe Bryant 18th all time. Their personal top 100 ranking is probably a little wacky. But this vote inadvertently balances out someone else who voted Kobe 4th all time. Same goes for every single player on this list.
Oh, okay. So you just average. Okay. So you divide that by 2 or add these together, then divide it by 2 and they put them 11. What they do? That's what they did.
Someone had Jokic 12th all time.
Yeah, 28th.
Another voter had him 28th, and everyone else had him somewhere in between. The range of votes for Charles Barkley are probably the largest of any player
Oh,
on this
Barkley
list,
was on the list. Okay.
with one vote for him as the 18th greatest player and another with him as the 74th greatest
In the
player.
middle.
With individual rankings like this, you'd think the final result would be a mess, and yet Barkley ended up being ranked 25th all time, right about where he should be. Can we make a completely accurate ranking of the greatest NBA players ever?
Nope.
Well, we can get really close. In terms of how we would create it and what it would look like, you're looking at it. This isn't a matter of opinion, it is a statistical principle. As Bleacher Report put it when describing their methodology, it's an impossible task, especially when confronted with the reality of comparing players from different eras. Stats help, but calculators won't ever figure all of this out. But asking enough people just might.
Dang, you just told us to shut up. The Bleacher Report's list is right. Jimmy! Woo!